Big Earl here with VeteranTrashTalk and Gruntworks, and super excited to bring you part 2 of our 3-part series of how to invest your money if you've got money. Now, we're bringing Army veteran Ken back on, and he's going to tell you what to do with your money by going through a scenario with a CPA and myself of what kind of questions you're going to answer and how the system looks. Now, Facebook has a lot of scams, all right, but if you follow VeteranTrashTalk, you know that we're not a scam, and information is power. All you have to do doesn't cost you anything. Scan that QR code right there. I think it's right there. Something like that. Yeah, that'll take you to VeteranTrashTalk. Go to the events and say interested in going, all right, to part 2 of Army veteran Ken and financial security. We'll see you then.
Today we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britson.
All right, let's go.
To try to get a matchup with a gun. Oh, goes the roof. Francis is gunner.
Well, this is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow, it looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding.
Wow.
It's very rare.
What a finish. Another one.
Really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out? Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get to goal. It's a knockout. Oh my It's a God. Knockout.
And it's closing in, trying to finish it, and it's over.
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Brock is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it!
Punch me right in the face, man.
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Piercing. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
For his opponent to be quicker on the pitch.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby!
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough. Bitch. Wow! How good is this? Finish him!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy or not. That's in the Book of Earl.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it. You gotta be very careful.
What's going on, Trash Talkers? Welcome, Gruntworks Nation. Boys, it's been a minute.
It has indeed been a while.
We're also short one. The Big Earl put in the chat that if we could go Saturday, he'd be here. And then
he did move to California also.
Fashion. He did move to California.
He might not be feeling well.
Must be getting his hysterectomy done.
Yes, nursing a pulled
He might not be
uterus.
feeling so hot.
Because he said, I'll be here. And Now he's not.
How he could miss Jandaroba versus Lemos blows my mind, because I know Bill and we haven't been able to sleep. This thing's on regular TV. Can you believe it?
Wait, we don't have to pay for this one?
No, not at all.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Side note, boys, I'm going to MAGA even harder now. I know you guys watch the news. It's going to MAGA even harder now.
Oh, Lord. So we're going to go over some fights here. We're going to go over some parlays, make some money, a little bit of housekeeping first. Right there. That QR code, scan that, support us. Our regular mission, we promote vet-owned businesses free of charge. Anything that helps vets. That right there, $9.99 a month. Straight to promoting any industry for veterans. They come on our show, they talk about it. We use all of that to boost that on social media because, you know, just like Joe said, you've seen the news. We're a vet organization, so we're automatically the evil bad guy. We're shadow
banned. Yeah.
This helps boost it because they'll take our money and show it, but they won't do it for free. Right below Joe there, scrolling, shop.VeteranTrashTalk.com. We got some awesome shirts. I got the Big Mick on this morning.
Big Mick energy. All right, I like it.
Bill's,
I'm wearing the original that we came up with 3 years ago.
Joe's got the OG on. That's the one that says my drinking team has a trash talk problem, right?
That's right.
Amanda was wearing that one last night.
I stole that at a Warrior Dash. Somebody said my running team has a drinking problem, or my drinking team has a running problem, and I was like, that sounds nice. I like that.
You know where they got that from? The Chive, because it used to be my drinking team had a charity problem.
Kind of like our Keep Calm and Lace Suppressive fire shirts, kind of Keep Calm and Chive on.
Exactly. And then over there, above Bill's shoulder, we
just made it better.
That way. And behind me, this is the reason the Big Earl isn't here today. Too much whiskey. He said he was still drunk. And I just said, look, that's like every show, so why aren't you here? And then he gave some excuse about not making it home last night, no computer. Fuck, I wasn't paying attention.
We came a mighty long way from the most in-shape group of alcoholics running down Ardennes and Long Street to hungover, haven't we?
Some of us moved to California and got estrogen injections.
Beep boop.
They hand you those pills right as you get there, right? The Premarin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Immediately. So, well,
start shitting on the sidewalks.
Anybody else like getting the popcorn ready for the vice presidential debates? Is anybody else? Because I'm praying to God that they put her up there alone with JP Vance. I'm not going to do any more politics. I just want to see it. Give it to us. We deserve it.
Have we found a betting line that they'll actually take bets on it? Because I think we can make some money.
They were taking bets on it. She was actually. Biden was longer odds than Harris to win the presidency. That tells you how much confidence Vegas has in him.
Well, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go over these scores here. It's been about a month. And let me get rid of a couple things real quick just so we can see it all. All right. So as you see, the scorecard hasn't changed a whole lot except for right here. We deducted 3 points for not being here today.
Yeah, it's an attendance penalty.
Exactly. So Jones, Senate, 7 are still 6 apiece. DrunkenCyborg, she's still part of the show, but she just moved to a farm in Florida that
also still alive, if anyone was wondering.
Also still alive. Yep. I don't know when she's getting internet. She doesn't know when she's getting internet. So when you see her post on her TikTok or Facebook, that's because she records everything and then goes to town and does like one big dump on social media. So, nice. Well, let's get into the fights.
Let's do that.
First fight of the night, we have a featherweight fight, Lee versus Emil.
No, I want you to say his first name, Chris.
Hyder?
Nope, the other guy.
Nah, fuck that.
He's only missing 2 letters in the alphabet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, champ, what do you got?
Oh, these guys both are contender series and then one fight in the UFC. Neither one's ever been finished. They both got great records. Lee's at 11-1. Hyder Emil's at 9-0. Hyder Emil's a little bit old to make his UFC debut, especially at lightweight. They usually say the heavier you are, the older you can go in the UFC. Like heavyweights can still fight at 40. But you get in the mid 30s with these guys, anywhere between 125 and 170, and there's going to be some rust after a while. I'm going to go with Lee based on just gut instinct. I haven't seen a whole lot of Hyder Amil's fights, and he did get. No, it's a different guy. But neither one's ever been finished. Lee's 11-1, Amil's 9-0, and I find that these fights tend to, where guys got a lot of finishes and a great record, people get so hung up on wanting to finish. I think that the going the distance is a little more profitable and makes more sense considering neither guy has ever been finished. They've got a lot of finishes, but when two guys like that usually collide, you usually end up seeing a decision. So I'm going to go Lee by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it go the other way, and I will probably have no action on this fight.
So before we go to Bill, just a quick question, and it's more my curiosity. You said neither guy has been finished. What was his one? Lee's one?
Oh, he lost a decision.
Back in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah, he's on a fight. His last five, I believe he's 5-0 with several finishes, but Amil's a tough guy to finish, apparently. And they both got mixed finishes. I think four KOs and 3 subs for Lee, and I think it's 5 KOs and one sub for Amil. So
there you go.
I could see this, but they've both gone the distance. So I could see this thing going the distance and it being a very close decision at the end. My gut's just gonna go with Lee.
Hey, look at that. They got a new tab on UFC. It's called odds. Well, that's not fucking perfect. I don't know what is.
You know, sometimes they're a victim to Vegas on those. When they have new fights, they don't get the odds in right away.
Well, I just meant the tab itself. I've never seen the odds tab.
Nice.
Usually they had them like down here. So that's pretty sweet. All right, cool. Well, Bill, what you got?
I'm with Joe. You're not going to see me put any money on this fight. And hello to Letha Hazelwood.
Hey, Letha.
What's up, Letha?
Honestly, I won't touch this fight. I mean, Lee's he's a little bit more longer in the tooth. He's got a little bit more fights in the UFC than on the road to the UFC fights and all that. I'm picking Lee just based on he's got a little bit more fights. I'm not touching this one. They're both too new. Like Joe said, they both got mixed finishes, mixed decisions. I'm going with Lee by decision on this one. Don't touch this fight. Lee's the heavier favorite, so maybe I might throw a couple bucks on that one just for shits and giggles. But really, I'm going with Lee by decision on this one. I need to see a lot more out of these guys before I can give you, educated picks on this one.
All right, sorry about that, folks. The Big Earl is texting me. You know how he always complains when the other members of Trash Talk text during the live show, and now he's doing it. So it's the California in him. He's getting entitled.
Exactly.
That's about right.
Starting already. And Tanner.
Oh, never mind.
Tanner says, "Let go." Well, let's go, Tanner. Let's do it. And on to the next fight. We have Doho Choi.
Close enough.
Choi. Okay. And then Bill Alego. El Gio. There it is. Bill Alego. I was going to say, you step on a Lego. That's a finish right there. That would be
Lego.
The Big Earl would say. And it's a featherweight bout. We're going to stick with Bill. What do you got, Bill?
I got Bill Algeo on this one. You're going to see him later in my parlay. Dooho Choi is not bad. I don't think he's ready for the step up to Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo is also a little bit of the betting favorite on this one. Dooho Choi, he's coming off of – they weirdly both – Algeo lost to Kyle Nelson in his last fight. I argued whether it was an early stoppage or not. Dooho Choi drew a draw against Kyle Nelson. So they both want to go back to him. But if you watch Dooho Choi, anytime he takes a little bit of a step up in the competition, he loses.
Ding, ding.
He lost at a decision Cub Swanson, fought Jeremy Siemens, got slept, fought Charles Jourdain, got slept, fought Kyle Nelson to a draw. Bill Algeo's been fighting longer. I think he's fought the better competition. I think he's going to avenge that Kyle Nelson fight like Joe and I were talking about earlier. So I got Bill Algeo on this one. I actually have him winning by TKO late in the second.
Champ, what say you?
Yeah, I always compare Bill Algeo to Billy Quarantillo. I think that they were like long lost brothers, like the Buffers.
Just because their names are Bill.
They're very similar fighters, where they're jack of all trades, master of none. But Bill Algeo is a little craftier, in my opinion, in his defensive or striking defense. And Doo Ho Choi, it's heavy South Korean card too, by the way. There's going to be a couple more. Doo Ho Choi has a very chin high, hands down style. He strikes, but he's open. And Joe Anderson Brito is on Bill Algeo's list of guys he's beat. That's a solid win. And I think that Bill's right on the money with anytime Choi steps up to take that next step and he runs into a gatekeeper, he loses. And the thing about that Kyle Nelson loss for Bill Algeo is he wasn't out and he was pissed about the stoppage. I'm not going to say it was early because Nelson poured it on him and he did what he's supposed to do. But the thing that I have confidence in is the fact that Bill Algeo was up and arguing a second after the fight got stopped. It wasn't like he was laying there like Pereira and Adesanya where they had to have like smelling salts brought out for Pereira. He didn't have to take a bad knockout. And this Algeo or Doo Ho Choi is 1-3-1 in his last 5. And all 3 of his losses are finishes, I believe. At least 2 of them are. So I think he's got a little more of a reckless style. Algeo is just a little bit smoother and trickier with his striking. And I got Bill Algeo also in my 4-leg parlay, winning a decision here. Excuse me, I can't talk this morning.
You good?
Yep, got Bill Algeo by decision.
All right, well, folks, give me just a moment here. We have a bot in the chat posting some dumb shit. So we got to take care of this real quick. I apologize, which means I got to find out where it's coming from.
Filthy bots. Good for nothing.
Asking us to join some Telegram site.
Probably coming from California.
Is it from a Nigerian prince? All right.
No. There we go. We can just go
You don't
ahead
have to
and
sign up 4 guys and they sign up 4 guys, do they?
No. It's not Amway.
Okay.
We're just gonna ban her. Seeing the bans live, chat. There we go. Delete that comment. All right, good to go. She's been banned. Jennifer Elizabeth, bye-bye. All right, on to the next fight. We have Cody Durden versus Bruno Silva. I've heard that name before. A lot of small guys on this card.
Yeah, and
featherweight, now a flyweight.
I think there's 2 Bruno Silvas. To be perfectly honest, I think there's one in a bigger class.
Okay, well, what you got, champ? And we lost champ.
So
well, you get this one, and we'll wait for him to come back.
All right, so Cody Durden and Bruno Silva is actually pretty even odds on this one. I think one's a plus 100, one's like a minus 110. I have Bruno Silva on this one.
Yeah, they got minus 102, minus 1018 right now.
Yeah, so pretty even odds. I'm going to go with Bruno Silva on this one. I'm actually throwing it. Actually, I don't think I did. I wouldn't be afraid to throw this in a parlay. I did on mine. Bruno Silva's on a 3-fight win streak with all finishes. So he's on a tear right now, and he's got a few submission wins in his repertoire. The thing with Cody Durden is when he does lose, he loses by submission. So I got Bruno Silva winning by submission in the second round on this one.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Joe would agree. It's pretty even matchup, like you said. Quite a few fights under these guys. Although Durden is coming off a loss and Silva's coming off that win, and we know that does make a difference in morale.
Especially if you're coming off of 3 straight wins, all by finish, you're running on a high, and I think Bruno Silva is going to come in here and go for that rear naked choke on Durden.
Did you see the weight difference in the two? Look at that. 125 to 140. It looks like
I
Joe's
think
back.
Cody Durden. Cody Durden's going up in weight to fight.
Gotcha. Joe,
All
you're
right,
back.
Sorry about that, gents. I started talking. You guys froze. I figured I froze, so I refreshed it. I have no idea what just happened. But I got Cody Durden by decision, if you did hear that.
We didn't hear anything. We just got Bill's analysis, so we'll go ahead and do yours. But yeah, you literally just dropped off the whole screen on us. We don't know what happened.
Son of a biscuit bulldog. Damn it, Microsoft. I got Cody Durden by decision here just because the guy always comes to fights his heart out, and Bruno Silva's inactivity is what is making me kind of lean away from him. Last time he fought was March of 2023. Before that, it was 2021, and Cody Durden usually stays pretty active, and the guy's always seems to be in the fight. I've lost money betting against him. He ruined a guy and upset him for me, and I'm just gonna go with Cody Durden by decision here. Probably not going to be in my parlay, but he is, I think, a plus 100. So he is my dog play on the main card.
Now, see, that's completely different than what Bill had to say on this.
Did he take Bruno Silva?
Bill went
Bruno Silva by submission.
By submission.
If Durden does lose, it's by submission.
Okay.
And he was talking about
this is
how
also
Silva's
one of the weakest fight cards in Fight Night history. So
fair. Bill was talking about he's coming off 3 straight subs.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was so far out, though. All right.
Yeah. It's Silva's inactivity that makes me worry about him dropping a round or two early.
That's fair.
Which is a valid concern.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next one. Let's see. We're at the halfway mark here. So before we get into this one, don't forget, right up there in the corner, that way, scan that QR code. Support veteran-owned organizations because Facebook doesn't. This allows us to spend money to promote these veteran-owned organizations. Gets it out there. We got to take care of ourselves because ain't nobody else going to do it. They don't like us. And then below, the shirts, the merch, that also helps support veteran-owned organizations. We are a for-profit company, so, we're here to make a little scratch as well. Ain't no shame in it. Ups our quality for streaming, the whole 9. And then, of course, 10th Mountain Whiskey. They're amazing. If you like sweet things, try their cordial. It's called Alpenglow. It's fucking dangerous. Bill can attest. 35% ABV. It is a peach. It's a sage-infused peach vanilla bourbon. It's like drinking a Chick-fil-A milkshake. It's fucking tasty. All right, to the next one. We got Kurt Holobaugh versus, I'm not going to even try it. And another lightweight fight. Jesus, this card is tiny. Bill, you're up. What you got?
Don't touch this fight in any of your parlays. Both of these guys have, that's not true. Kanan Kruszewski has 2 fights.
That's why I didn't try it right there.
One was a UFC Contender Series win. Then he came out and lost by KO in his first fight in the UFC. Kurt Holobaugh won his Contender Series fight by no contest.
In 1987.
Proceeds to lose his next 3 fights. Now, granted, to be fair, Holobaugh kind of got screwed by the UFC a little bit. His first 3 fights in the UFC were like Thiago Moises, Shane Burgos, and I forgot who the other one. I think it's Ronnie Barcelos.
Baptized by fire, was he?
Yeah, so then he leaves the UFC, comes back, wins a fight, but then he loses to Trey Ogden again. I think Kurt Holobaugh just doesn't have that thing that it takes to be successful at the UFC level. Kanan Kruszewski, who knows? He's got 2 fights and he's 1-on-1 in the UFC. I can't tell you. And do you really count that win in the Contender Series? So that's not really fighting.
Because you don't even know who he was fighting in the Contender Series. Yeah. We don't know that guy.
I'm going with Kruszewski with a 2nd round sub. I don't know. Like Joe Patelli said, we know so little about these guys, except I don't think either one of them have what it takes to succeed at the UFC. I think they'll just continue to be stepping stones for future up-and-comers.
Is this a Big Earl pick? He's got 30 syllables in his name, so you're picking him?
Yeah, pretty much. Both these guys will be fighting for beer money for the next 5 years. They'll never hold a belt. They'll never be a top 10 guy. But so, hey, Kanan by sub-second round.
All right, what you got, Joe?
I went Holobov head decision simply because, one, I'm not betting on this fight, and two, Holobov is 4-1 in his last 5. He has seen the better competition, and he's a bit of that gatekeeper that was never quite a gatekeeper. He's a real journeyman, and I've seen on these fight nights, and I've learned my lesson on betting on these young up and comers because they've got a sexy record. Because 15-2 is a good record. Over these guys that got 40 fights, but they're 25-15. Like Anthony Smith, it's a hard guy to bet, and I'm not comparing the two at all. I'm just saying that experience sometimes is the difference maker between winning 2 out of 3 rounds in a very boring fight. So I'm going to go with Holobov by decision, but I'm also not going to touch this fight in my parlay because I know very little about Kanan Krzyzewski or Krzyzewski or whatever. I'll call him Krzyzewski because that's what Coach K calls himself. But he gets KO'd by Elvis Brenner in his first fight, and Elvis Brenner's not a devastating knockout artist. No. He's a banger. Holobov's a banger. Maybe Kanan there has no chin. So I'm going to go with Kurt Holobov by decision, but I would not be surprised to see either hand raised in this fight.
It does look like a pretty small chin there. I mean, if we're being honest.
It's a very soy build for 155 too, man. If I was at 155, it'd look like skin painted on muscle, and I'm 44.
Kind of like over here.
Right. I mean, Holobov's ripped. He's in shape. He runs his own gym. Him and his wife do. And I think that's been the knock on him that I've heard before is that he doesn't get real camps because he just lives at his gym. And I think that's actually a really bad recipe. It's kind of like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's great at that one thing. Yeah. But if they left and went to a real camp and stayed there for a couple of months, they'd probably be a different quality of fighter. So I'm gonna take Holobov, but I don't see a future for either one of these guys in the UFC, to be honest with you.
Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Got it. Okay, on to the co-main.
Here we go.
Hey, look, another Choi. We've got a featherweight fight. Steve Garcia, 15-5, versus Sung Woo Choi, 10-6. What you got, Joe?
This is one of my locks. This is one of the fights that it's set up perfectly for Steve Garcia to win by knockout. I'm going to take Garcia in a second round KO. Choi keeps his hands at about the top ab level. So he sets up real low like that. And he's very reckless. Also keeps his chin very high. And Steve Garcia is a knockout artist. People don't want to give him the credit for what he's done, but he's got 12 KOs out of 15 wins. And he's very dangerous. He can throw that straight kick up the middle and put it off your chin or put it off your belt line. I really like Steve Garcia here, and I think he wins by a very convincing KO. Round 2.
There it is, Bill.
Ring the bell, same exact thing. I got Steve Garcia, second round KO. Like Joe said, Steve Garcia is an underrated knockout artist. And the good thing about Steve Garcia, he's always going to have a paycheck in the UFC because Dana White loves his fight style. Steve Garcia comes out to throw hands and throw hands early.
He fights more like a Garcia than a Steve.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a great way to put it. And Joe said it too is Sung Woo. He does carry his hands a little low with that Taekwondo stance. And with someone like Steve Garcia is he's gonna time it and he's gonna hit him with an overhand right. So I got Steve Garcia, second round TKO. I don't think Sung Woo Choi is ready for the onslaught Garcia is gonna come at him. He's gonna come. Oh man, I need Nick here. I was gonna say hard and fast. But from the minute that bell rings, Steve's gonna start running at.
I think Nick was in a video called that.
Yeah, just throw bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually ends in the first. But I wanted to give Choi a little bit of credit for dancing around the ring for a little bit. But I got Steve Garcia second round KO.
Maybe that's why Nick isn't here. He is in California.
No, making his
debut.
Guy OnlyFans.
All right, and the final This is Bill's wheelhouse right here.
This is our main event, gentlemen. No, I'm not
kidding.
Main
event. We have Amanda Lemos, women's strawweight bout versus Verna.
Yep.
Jandiroba.
Yep.
All right. Well, seeing as the female fights are Bill's repertoire, let's do it.
Hey, the fact that this is the main event is really sad. I mean, this is going to be a boring fight. It's in my parlay as take the over. I have Amanda Lemos winning this one. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be boring as shit. I got Amanda Lemos by decision. I am fairly confident this is going to go to decision. Both their fighting styles kind of cancel each other out, but it's going to be boring. Normally, this is a fight I tell you to go light up the grill and get ready for the next fight, but sadly, this is the main event. Amanda Lemos by decision. In my parlay, it's going to be take the over or had the fight goes to decision, depending on where you're betting with whether it's MGM or FanDuel, what have you. I think it's sad that this is the main event, but here we are. And like Joe said, if you see Fight Night, see where it's at. If it's at Apex, it's going to be a shitty fight card. And here we are. So I got Amanda Lemos by decision. It could go either way, but either way, pick fight to go to decision because it's going to be boring as shit.
So what you're saying is if this wasn't the first or the final, the main event, this would be a go start the grill fight?
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha. All right, Joe, what say you?
It is a tricky one, even though it's not main event caliber. I see a lot of people, and I watch some picks throughout the week. A lot of people on Jandiroba because of her fighting style, and I'll give her credit. She does literally almost nothing wrong. She's got a very intense grappling. She ragdolled Carla Esparza, but her grappling is where her advantage is. Lemos has the hands, no question there. She's going to tee up that face of Jandiroba's. And my thing is, Mackenzie Dern with that dump truck couldn't get Lemos to the ground. And Jandiroba's built more lean. I mean, without being insensitive about it, she's built like a man. She's got that V cut, and she's not real thick in the legs and in the butt. And with Lemos, she's so muscular. I think that she's going to keep Jandiroba off of her, and she's going to win enough rounds with that jab because she is a true boxer. Most females aren't. They work on their striking, but they strike like Ronda Rousey. Then they run into a Holly Holm. Well, Lemos is a legitimate boxer. Jandiroba is a legitimate submission specialist. So I think that stays on the feet, it's Lemos. Goes to the ground, it's Jandiroba. But I'm going to bet on Lemos winning 3 to 4 of the rounds off that jab and that 1-2 and coming away with the decision here. But I do like the distance because Jandiroba is not a quitter. She's not one of those girls that takes a punch and covers up. So it's going to take one on the button to get her out of there. And with 125-pound females, the odds are usually in favor of her not landing that punch.
Like you said, Amanda Lemos is a boxer, but she's not a finisher either.
Yeah, she hits hard, but against a true fighter, which Jandiroba is, I'll give her that much respect. And God forgive me for saying this, but with a face like that, what else can you be? Jandiroba is somebody you've got to put to sleep, and I don't think Lemos is going to do that. And Lemos is somebody you got to tap out, and I don't think Jandiroba is going to do that. So I'm betting on Lemos' jab and her boxing to win the decision.
All right, there you have it, sports fans. Now is the important part. This is where you pay attention. Pause the show, go grab pen and paper. We're going to go over these experts' parlays. This is where we make the money. And if I'm not mistaken, we're doing pretty well with the last couple shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ahead.
Now, I apologize ahead of time for not being on BetMGM like we normally are, but their website was broken this morning, so it is on FanDuel.
Fucking CrowdStrike.
That's where I play.
Yeah. So, first up, we got the Big Earl's 4-legger.
Yeah.
We got. Go ahead and give it to us, Joe.
Yeah, I like Muhammad Usman in the first fight of the night over this Peterson. This guy's a bum. And Muhammad Usman, I'm giving him the fight on pure intimidation and the fact that he's not going to be taken down and he hits harder. So I got Usman. And then I like Cody Gibson over it's Brian Kelleher.
Yeah.
I always get his last name wrong. But Brian Kelleher is on his way out. And, Cody Gibson in his last fight actually looked really well, but couldn't pull out the victory. I think he gets it done here. And then I'm going with Bill Algeo and Steve Garcia. I'm very comfortable with those picks. I also really like Miranda Maverick, but for the sake of this being a four-legger, if you switched out Usman for Miranda Maverick, I'd feel very comfortable with that as well.
We can look at both real quick. So with the original four-legger, Gibson, Alego, Garcia, Usman, it's a plus $600, $75 pays $450.07. And then who was the one that we were swapping?
Miranda Maverick.
Maverick. That would be a plus 436, so 75 would pay $327.63.
So I might just roll with Usman because Miranda Maverick, she's been capable of a stinker here or there, but I think if that girl's got the talent that they say she does, she has to win this fight.
Yeah. All right. And now we got the Baker six-legger. Hit us with it, Bill.
And actually, Joe, I just read an article where Miranda Maverick knows she has to come out and make a statement. And I do think she's got that talent. I think she just has some shitty coaching.
And she was a kid also.
Yeah. If you notice, Joe and I's parlays are very similar, but obviously I had to pick two more because I'm doing a six-fighter. But again, I'm starting off with Muhammad Usman, first fight of the night. And the other thing, Joe was right about everything he said, but the other thing about Muhammad Usman is for a heavyweight, he's got a really good chin. He's fought some big heavy hitters and gone to decision with them. So he's got, for a man his size, he's got pretty decent cardio and a chin. And then I'm also going Miranda Maverick on this one. I think she's going to come out and pull off a decision win on this one. She might even pull off a sub, but I got a decision. But like I said, she's going to try to make a statement on this one. So I wouldn't be surprised with a sub, maybe late second round. Cody Gibson, I like that fight over Kelleher as well. Again, Steve Garcia, I think he's come out and get a KO win. Bill Algeo, just like Joe and I covered earlier. And again, fight of the main event, will it go to the distance? Yes. Joe and I talk about it's going to be boring. I think it's going to be just Lemos jabbing someone to death for 5 rounds. But it will go to a decision. And again, if you look below that that's $10 will get you $230.
Now remember, folks. Bye, Joe. If you don't have the money, do not gamble. This is our disclaimer. If you got it, you want to give it a try. Remember, this right here is why Vegas has big buildings.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the option to cash out and be positive, do so. But if you want to let it ride, $10. That's some serious beer money right there. That's like go get a bottle money. So you have that option. Joe dipped out early. Sorry about that. Oh, he's back. Hold up. Let's get him back in here. There he is.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, you're good, Joe. No worries. So let's come back here. We'll close it all out. So remember, Trash Talkers, no show this Saturday, no show next Saturday. We will be back August the 3rd. So you got 2 more weeks of just fight nights, and then we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. Bill, you got last word?
Hey, again, I'm asking everybody to go out and go to goldstarteenadventures.org. Great organization that takes care of all of our Gold Star kids. It used to just be for military, but they've expanded out to first responders as well. They bring them together. They get them certified in deep sea, scuba diving. They take them out on fishing trips, hiking trips, mountain climbing, anything you can think of. So please go out, goldstarteenadventures.org.
All right, there you have it, sports fans. Don't forget, you got the QR code, that one there. Support your veterans. Over there, behind Bill, that way. Yeah, there it is. 10th Mountain Whiskey. They're not veteran-owned, but they support veterans more than I've seen anybody in recent times. They do everything that they can to help us out. And Their stuff's pretty good. If you go to 10thwhiskey.com, that's the number 10thwhiskey.com. Use code VTT. You'll save 10% on your order. They ship to quite a few states. Just plug your address in and they'll tell you whether or not they can ship to you or if you can find it local. And then right below Joe, you got shop.veterantrashtalk.com. Get all our merch. If you use code VTT, you'll save 10% there as well. We'll find the big Earl. He's probably in a ditch somewhere in Van Nuys or something. And